Hi guys, welcome back to Estate Agent Mastery, episode 3. I'm really excited to be joined by Matt Giggs. Matt, you need no introduction to our industry. Obviously, you've got all your group of companies behind you. You do stuff on Rightmove, you do motivational stuff. It's great to have you on. What haven't I said about you that I should have done?
Ex-footballer, ex-professional footballer.
Was it Birmingham City?
Peterborough United, but we were in the equivalent of the Championship back at the time. But I was only in the reserves, really, so I can't claim any fame on that one. So
there we go. All right, cool. We're jumping straight in. What's your biggest estate agency failure? Not footballing failure, but estate agency failure. And what did you learn from it?
My biggest failure was not trusting the fee. So in other words, it was negotiating fees. That's my biggest failure. I think you go out and believe in what you charge and then don't negotiate.
What if someone says, yeah, but the other agent said I'll do it for 0.5% lower and I'll match you if you sign now?
Well, my question to them would be, who do you believe is going to get you to your outcome? And that's it. And if it's the other agent, you should use them. If it's me, there's no risk because you only pay me when I deliver.
Absolutely love that. Bit of script practice. We go straight into it. If you were going to go back to the 18-year-old Matt, what advice would you give yourself? One piece, and why?
Focus on what you can control. And that's because I probably grew up as a bit of a worrier. My mum is a Champions League warrior. She's the loveliest person, and it rubbed off on me for sure. I think during my career, I probably tried to please people too much and worry about what other people think. And if you focus on the things that you can control, your energy is better spent there. It's better invested in those places.
I like that. So don't worry about what other agents are charging. Worry about your
There's no market out. There's no market to compete with outside of yourself.
I love that. I love that. Fine. Okay. It's a quick fire podcast, short form podcast. I want some gold from you, Matt. Have you got a resource you can share or a script or something you can share with our listeners?
Do you know what? I think your mindset is your only tool that dictates everything else. So people go training. I see loads of people in the gym working out. They go to training events, seminars, do all of these lovely things, which give them a momentary lift. The thing is, every day you've got the opportunity to listen to something that gives you that lift. I honestly believe YouTube videos, motivational stuff, it's the stuff that when I've noticed my dip in energy, it's down to what I'm listening to. It's down to who I'm around. So here's the hack. Find things that lift you up. It could be music, motivational things, people you listen to, talk to. But there's a great one from Les Brown, a famous motivational speaker. It's called Recondition Your Mind. And it's a really good 15-minute video. Listen to it, pop it onto your Google. You'll find it in YouTube. It's very old. You could probably say today's world won't necessarily connect with the whole thing, but it gives you what you need. And it's all about how you think. That's estate agency in any profession. It's all what goes on in there.
I completely agree. Listen, we'll throw that into the show notes. I listen to 15 minutes a day motivational speaking as part of a habit I've formed. And when I'm having down days, there's limiting beliefs, fear, which I know you say is false evidence appearing real, creeps in. It just quashes it. So I'm all over you. All over you. I agree with you. Right. Awkward. We'll move on. Morning routine, Matt. Now we're not together. It might often seem like after the last comment we could be. We're not.
That's okay.
What does that look like? Do you, are you the type of guy that tracks your sleep? Do you get up? Do you meditate? How soon are you on your screens? That type of thing.
I have got one of these apps and I do look at my sleep patterns. I can get an idea of what deep sleep I get. And generally speaking, the deeper the sleep's normally down to what I've done the night before, which is disconnecting from tech a lot earlier than 9 or 10 o'clock at night, having a good meal and getting the stuff off your chest. Anyway, coming back to what I do when I wake up, I always have a green drink, always have a vitamin, and I always have a coffee. Breakfast, I tend to react best to high protein diet. So on the way to places, I listen to podcasts. On the way to the office or to a meeting or before I go and talk to someone, I'll always listen to something that will give me that lift. So a bit like answering your last question, it could be 15 minutes of a podcast. It could be someone funny. I love comedians. I think comedians are so great for your motivation. So just listening to something that just changes the way, because I ask a lot of people this, when does your day start? And a lot of people say, about 9 or 9:30. And I'm actually, no, it starts the moment that you open your eyes. You can dictate your day that early in the process. My routine is about doing things which give me health, nutrition, better feelings, better energy to go into my day. I very rarely look at emails first thing in the morning. I very rarely look at texts and stuff like that. I do hop onto socials fairly early, but I've normally done the things that make me feel good first.
Makes sense. Okay, fine. So we're going to switch gears. What do you think the estate agency world is going to look like in 5 years' time from a tech point of view?
Look, I think one of the biggest challenges to our industry are the distractions of technology. And if you think about what real estate agency stands for and what the heart of it really is, it's in a conversation like we're having right now. So I think great tech, we've lifted our skills and our abilities into conversations by having tech that allows us to do it. So we're leveraging ourselves and our time away from doing too many things that stops us doing the thing that we're here to do, which is to help people to meet their needs. If tech can go forward 5 years and make massive changes to agents whose ability in the conversation, in the negotiation process, or whatever it might look like, showing or meeting people, that's where great tech will look. I honestly think things like chat, the AI, that kind of stuff, it's got some kind of purpose behind it. It will save time in certain tasks. But I honestly think your CRM system is probably critical to the way you manage your time. And I think the tech will just continue to improve that. So I don't think much is going to change from the real estate agency perspective. It's how can the tech really improve itself to allow you not to be distracted too much and focus in on the areas that you're bloody good at. And that's, for me, I've met many great estate agents, but it's in the heart of the conversation where they make the difference.
I like that. I really like that. What's the most important lesson you've learnt in your estate agency career?
It's really just trust yourself. There's a feeling that I get when I know I'm doing something wrong. So listen to trust yourself. That's your instinct, and that's got. So I'm 47, so I've got 47 years of instinct. I've got to listen to it. If it feels, I've just had a really difficult conversation with someone this morning, an outcome which is not great for that person, but it's the right thing for that person. And I know it's the right thing for me because of how I felt about the situation. Now, logically, I always move into a place where I'm trying to do things for the right reasons for everybody else. And sometimes that's against it actually works out worse in the long run, right? You know, when you're trying to pad something out that just needs to be kind of cut dead where we are right now. So trust yourself. Trust that inner voice. They are your core values. They are your beliefs. They are the things that they're going to matter to you in the short, medium, and long term. Listen to those before you make big decisions. Give yourself that respect. Trust yourself is the best thing you'll ever do.
You can bottle this, Matt. I love this. Right, I've got to move on quick. It's short form podcast, but listen, I absolutely love this stuff. What's a productivity hack for estate or letting agents listening out there that you could recommend?
Just one thing every day. Just know what you're going to achieve every day. There's got to be something that's going to move you closer towards your goal. I think Gary Keller does the one thing. In my experience, if you have one thing to achieve every day, you feel like you're moving forward. So if it's a difficult conversation, like I just spoke about, if it's going to do a vendor visit and preparing for it and making sure that that's the thing that you're going to really need to do today, or getting those letters done, or whatever it is, I feel like every day you've moved a step forward by doing one thing really, really well.
I like that. One book, Matt, and not loads. The people that have come on already, we're only on episode 3, have gone, well, what, and this and that, and just maybe another. What's one book you would recommend to our listeners and viewers, and what would it be?
Oh, I don't read that many books, but I listen. So I'm going to say James Clear, Atomic Habbits is a good one. And the reason why I like that one is because the bit that I really resonate with is the bit where you link one habit to another. So it's compounding, it's momentum. And I think, so like I've just said about some of the hacks, I think the simpler you make it, the easier, the more achievable you make that first one, it builds into your second habit. So my recommendation would be to people that don't read a lot, listen to it. If you love reading, get it off of Amazon. It's a good book.
You're the second person to say that book. So there we go.
Well, as agents, we're so built on our energy and our the kind of enthusiasm and things like that. And I think when you're achieving small things, those little wins create big wins. And I think that's where that routine and habit comes from.
I love it. I call it millimeter improvements. I can right, just keep on edging forward. So best agent in the world to follow on social media.
There's a guy called Trevor Kearney from Savills. I think he's at Savills. I hope it's not Knight Frank. I might be wrong. No, it's Savills. Super Prime, Trevor Kearney. He works up the high end of the market. He's given me his time on a handful of occasions. I've reached out to him. He's probably the most down-to-earth agent who's delivering massive results in a huge organization, but also outside of that on his Instagram. So I'd follow him. Look at his authenticity. He's very down to earth. He works in a market where you could easily mix yourself up in trying to be someone that you're not. He doesn't do that at all. He is a class act for me. No, that's in this country. Trevor's a UK guy as well.
Trevor, I'll make sure that goes in the show notes. What's one question, Matt, haven't asked you wish I would have done?
What's the secret to success?
With all your companies behind you, you must have an answer.
No, look, values. I think, why do I say that? Because if you're aligned to your core values and the things that you believe in, you're on the right track. And I think it's when you're not aligned and you're not protecting the things that are important to you, that's when stress and shit occurs, and you start to get a bit scrambled, a bit foggy. If you have a clear vision and you know where you're heading, and it doesn't have to be detailed, but you've got a good idea of where you want to be and when, and then the journey on that has to incorporate the things that you believe in. Because if you're trying to do things that you don't believe in deep down, you just ain't going to do them consistently. And ultimately, that is the success hack, because your values and my values are different. So there's no point me trying to teach you to do the things that I do really well when they are fundamentally not the things that you believe in.
No. Some more gold from Matt. Right. Last two questions. I'm going to combine them. Where can we find you online, and who else, and only one person, should I have on this podcast?
Okay, where can you find me online? LinkedIn's a good place. I don't hang out on Facebook too much nowadays, which is a bit of a shame, only because I think I've gradually gravitated more to LinkedIn and possibly Instagram now, but LinkedIn's a really good place. That's probably where I share most of my content.
Okay, fine. And who
what
should
was the other question? Oh, go on. Who else did you get on here? I think Mark Burgess. And Mark I've got to know over the last few years. And I was a bit of I didn't really take to Mark, if I'm being brutally honest. I used to think he's talking out of his arse a little bit with regards to tech. I thought he makes it sound like it's going to do everything for you, but actually, when you root underneath the messages that he's sharing and his simplified approach to building software and things like that, he's a very, very talented guy and a very good salesman at the same time. But he's actually a really interesting guy, and I think he would give a lot of perspectives that a lot of agents probably haven't heard before.
Brilliant. Matt, thank you so much. There's loads of gold going into this show notes. I really appreciate you, and I'll catch you soon.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.